Coming to you live from Tressel Field inside the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University. It's time for Baldwin Wallace University women's soccer action. This evening, BW hosts Heidelberg University. Now, BW hosts Wilmington College in an Ohio Athletic Conference clash. Thank you for joining us this evening. I am Dario Bathley, and I am joined by Dre Showers.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
We have a good broadcast and slate for you here this evening. The Yellow Jackets enter tonight's game with a record of 9-4-2 overall after defeating the University of Mount Union 4-1 on Tuesday night. The Fighting Quakers come into the match with a record of 8-5 after losing 4-1 against Capital University Tuesday evening. BW is this evening led by 13th season head coach Reed Ayers, who is assisted by Jim Watkin, Louis Rocco, and Christopher Kraft, along with student coach Miranda Bennett. The Wilmington College Fighting Quakers are coached by Steve Spurk, who is assisted by Bob Desiker, Jacob Morrison, and Jacob Morrison. We're going to take a short break, and when we're back, we will have the starting lineups for you. You're listening to BW Women's Soccer on bwyellowjackets.com. And now the starting lineups. For the visiting team, the Wilmington College Fighting Quakers. Number 1, Brittany Ross. Number 2, Morgan Combs. Number 6, Stephanie Max. Number 8, Alyssa Rule. Number 9, Elena Lundrigan. Number 11, Taylor Scott. Number 12, Katie Evans. Number 16, Erica Good. Number 23, Melanie Hall. Number 25, Taylor Leak. And number 27, Ashley Stockton. And now for your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets. Number 1, Emily Talmadge, the senior. Number 2, the sophomore, Lauren Hainham. Number 8, the junior, Courtney Schutz. Number 11, the freshman, Rachel Bender. Number 14, the junior, Kelly Go. Number 15, the sophomore, Alex Elliott. Number 18, the senior, Cheryl Bell. Number 19, Anna Poptik. Number 21, the sophomore, Corey Miller. Number 22, senior, Caddy Tucker. And number 23, the junior, Kristen Lee. BW comes into this game with a record of 9-4-2, a record of 3-1 in the OAC, and look to better that record here tonight. The Wilmington College Fighting Quakers have a record of 8-5 overall, with a record of 2-2 in the OAC, and they will certainly be looking to do the same. So we look forward to a good game here this evening by both teams in this, their 5th Ohio Athletic Conference clash of the season. We will now take a break to accommodate the national anthem and be back with you shortly for kickoff. And we are kicked off here at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University. And it is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets against the Wilmington College Fighting Quakers. And Wilmington looking to attack early on here.
And attacking is what they do. This year, respectfully, the junior and senior Taylor Scott and Erica Good of the Fighting Quakers have 6 and 5 goals respectfully. So this team does score a lot. Those players in particular are their leading scorers and are much of their attack for this team. So we definitely pops out on paper. So we got to see how they perform against a pretty good defense of the Lady Yellow Jackets here this evening.
Yeah, and the Lady Yellow Jackets also haven't been doing too bad in terms of attacking prowess themselves. Especially, I want to give a special mention to freshman Rachel Bender, leading the team in points with 20, 9 goals and 2 assists, and she's really been a revelation this season. We watched her during the last home game. At times having a hard time out on the right wide side here, but was able to end up getting 2 goals and an assist in that game. So Bender, definitely a prospect for the future, only being a freshman, but not only a prospect for the future, also a prospect for right now. As I mentioned, she is leading the team in points, and this, a team that went to the OAC championship last year, will be eager to get back there, and maybe Bender just added that extra spark that they would have needed to be successful in such a game. So interesting to see what Rachel Bender and the Lady Yellow Jackets are able to conjure up here tonight as they play a good team in Wilmington College Fighting Quakers.
Indeed, this is going to be a real evenly matched contest this evening based on, just what we know about these teams. You would expect that at least. But, again, another OAC clash here tonight. The hail's coming down. This is going to be a really intense matchup.
Yeah, and the weather is definitely setting the tone for the type of matchup that you would expect from this, the 5th OAC encounter of the season for both of these teams. And as we know, the OAC is played in a manner that is very physical, very demanding, and I think the weather is just an added challenge here for these ladies this evening as they attempt to put together a winning performance, both teams. Ball just being kicked about in the early exchanges here. As we did mention, it's very wet out there, so the ball a little bit harder to bring on the control, and maybe still just feeling it out at the moment for the ladies. So,
and you wonder what weather does like this to your mental state and for the game and your performance thereafter, because there's fear sometimes on turf of being more likely to slip and fall, and we've seen some pretty hard falls here without this weather factor. So tonight, really you got to pay attention to that, and not only that, but who perseveres through the weather or through the storm, with no pun intended. Well, maybe in that case it was.
a foul on Kelly Go of the Yellow Jackets, made by the number 11, Taylor Scott. And Scott, definitely a player that BW will want to be wary of here this evening, as she hasn't been performing badly on the season herself. Dre, if you're willing to tell us a little bit more about that.
No, not at all. Like I said before, she pops out on the paper with 5 goals, 4 assists, to go with those 5 goals and 14 points for her team. So she is clearly the leader as a junior, and she has the experience as well in the OAC conference. Uh, with a team, though, that has pretty evenly distributed amount of goals thereafter. So,
Oh, Rachel Bender with a cross. Oh, but it's dealt with by the Wilmington College defense. Looking for Alex Elliott there.
BW looking to get on top early there. And that's what they do. This team starts and finishes very hard. They and a lot of this season it really hasn't disappointed.
Yeah, this is a very aggressive team. Uses their subs well and have some depth in terms of players. So yeah, it's important for this group to just believe in each other and continue to play the type of soccer that they have been playing. As you said, they usually come out with great intensity early on in the game, and they show that intensity late on in games sometimes. But I think it's something that their coach has been trying to instill in them, because I have noticed that their play does improve a little after halftime also. So every time they get an opportunity to regroup and say, well, this is what we need to do and this is how we need to do it, they come out revigorated, and it's worked for them so far. I mean, a decent record, 9-4-2 overall. They would have wished they could turn those ties into wins, but they were unable to. And I mean, that's gone now. None of those came in OAC play. I think their focus will be to go on and win this OAC competition in order to get an NCAA berth.
And yeah, this is a team too that really feels out their opponents early on, and you say that fast start comes out of the gate in the second half, because once they do feel out the teams that they played this season, we've noticed in the second half that they've exposed their weaknesses, and that's how a lot of the result has come or came as wins for this team.
When a decent a decent corner by Courtney Schuetz. Bobbles around in the box a little bit, but falls to Cheryl Bell about 16 yards from goal in the end. And she rifles a shot over. I don't think the goalkeeper knew too much about that one. If it was on target, I think high possibility that the Lady Yellow Jackets could have been up 1-0 here.
And that's another thing too in this game.
Ooh.
Cheryl Bell's looking for it early.
From the ensuing goal kick, the ball falls to Bell. This time a little bit further out from goal, maybe about 28 yards or so. And she rifles another one over the post. So Bell bringing out her shooting boots tonight, really looking to get on the score sheet.
And Cheryl Bell's not modest when it comes to shooting. Maybe her stats don't jump out like some of the other girls, but her for sure, in particular, is one that she will keep shooting because she's that confident in her foot.
Yeah, and Cheryl Bell has 2 goals, 2 assists, which may seem like small numbers considering she plays in a forward position. But I think that this BW attacking unit has it together. I think everyone has their job. And it could also be pointed out that the center forward, Courtney Schuetz, doesn't have as many goals as you might think center forward in such a potent attacking team may have. But the goals are coming from elsewhere, from particularly Rachel Bender and Alex Elliott. Bender playing on that right side of the attacking trio, and Elliott playing in an attacking midfield position, sometimes moving up to striker when they're looking for some more direct play. But the goals are coming, and they're coming from all over, as the midfield and defense are a constant attacking threat also. So I think a good unit here, the 13th season head coach Reed Ayers has together, as Elliott plays a ball into Bender, who gets free and has a shot. Just end up on the wrong side of the side net in there. I thought she tried to cut it back across goal for one of her teammates to maybe run onto, but Bender goes with the selfish option, and rightfully so, as her 9 goals prove that she can score those chances herself.
Absolutely. You just give her a little bit more room there, and that's a goal every time for her. She's just that good, and just you don't really see that every day out of somebody her age, and how she stepped up for this team with injuries at that happening for this team. So definitely, definitely is the best attacking prowess right now for the Lady Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, and the dedication and the commitment that Bender plays with and the maturity is unheard of for a freshman, as she really takes on this role as the main attacking threat and is an outlet at every single opportunity she gets to attack. So, many positive signs for Bender as she skips past one player now and is looking to get across in here with the left maybe, and she does, but it is cleared by the Wilmington College Fighting Quakers. The Lady Fighting Quakers trying to create a chance there um, on the counter attack, but it is eventually snuffed out by Caddy Tucker. And Caddy Tucker will be charged with the task of controlling Taylor Scott here this evening, as we know Scott is probably one of the best attacking players in the OAC currently, but Caddy Tucker, no slouch on defense, and from what I have seen, could be one of the best central defenders in the OAC at the moment. So interesting battle to come, as the Yellow Jackets will definitely be hoping that Tucker could nullify the effect of Taylor Scott here this evening.
No argument about that. Caddy Tucker has been, I would say, the most consistent player on this team throughout the season, as far as I'm concerned, because always puts down the best player on the opposing team, and does it quite well, especially at home too, when we've been able to do the broadcast and see firsthand just how valuable she is for this the defensive team for the BW Lady Yellow Jackets.
Rachel Bender released by Courtney Schutz. Attempts to put a cross in, but it comes off defender Morgan Combs, the junior from Tip City. And it's Baldwin Wallace's second corner of the game, actually, to be taken by Courtney Schutz.
That was a beautiful ball over the top to Rachel Bender. And that's what you want every time.
And that's what Courtney Schutz really does for you. She's able to release her fellow attacking players. And the great cross. Wow. And the ball coming off the head of Alex Elliott initially, saved on the goal line. A follow-up shot by, I think, Bell also saved. And then the same happened on the second follow-up by Kelly Go. So Wilmington at this point really holding on by a thread, as that's the second incident of that type to happen. And I think they'll consider themselves lucky to still be on evil peg and even pegging here with 15 minutes gone in this contest.
Yeah, 3 opportunities there. You give this Lady Yellow Jackets an opportunity like that again, there's no doubt about it that somebody's scoring. A lady luck on the Fighting Quakers side, but they can't really rely on that too much more if they want to win this one.
And if you're just joining us here at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University, it is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets nil and the Lady Fighting Quakers of Wilmington College nil. In this, both teams' fifth OAC encounter of the season. And there we see the continuance of that battle with Caddy Tucker not only coming out on top, but drawing the foul there against the junior forward, Taylor Scott.
And Taylor Scott's really good, but Caddy Tucker, quite frankly, doesn't care this evening. She's going to make it as hard as possible for her.
There she is again winning another battle with Scott. Opportunity there for Wilmington College Fighting Quakers, and it must be said that that's their best of the game. Fall into one of the players that they would actually rather it fall to, Stephanie Max, the number 6, as she has 3 goals on the season, but she sees a weak shot saved easily by goalkeeper Emily Talmadge. First corner kick of the game now to Wilmington, to be taken by Taylor Scott. And some good work by Taylor Scott leads to a shot for her teammate Katie Evans, the freshman from Leesburg, Ohio. But Evans skies the shot, and it's a goal kick to the Baldwin Wallace Lady Yellow Jackets.
And now Wilmington opening up opportunities for themselves, which is certainly what they need to do. Because I think for the most part, the Lady Yellow Jackets have uh, been a little bit better possession-wise this game.
Taylor Scott just moving into different areas of the field here in order to try to get something going. But Caddy Tucker finds her and is still on her case as a strong tackle, sees the ball go out for Wilmington throw-in.
And yeah, that's another thing too about Caddy Tucker. She's a very physical player, and she's not been afraid all season to show that side of her. So, again, we see that there on that last one.
Yes, she is, and from the looks of it, she's been charged with the task tonight of man-marking Taylor Scott, which is not a prospect that I think will excite Scott, as Caddy Tucker can prove very difficult to get anything at all going against. Ooh, Wilmington presented with a good chance to cross, and that she did, Katie Evans. But with a little bit of a mishap, Emily Talmadge is eventually able to pick up the ball and launch it safely up the field. Here's Katie Evans on the attack once again for Wilmington. Well defended by Corey Miller as the ball goes out for a corner kick to Wilmington. And if you're just joining us here live at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University, it is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets 0 and the Lady Fighting Quakers of Wilmington College 0 with 20 minutes left to go in the first period of play. Corner results in a chance for Wilmington on the header by Alyssa Ruil, the sophomore defender from Miamisburg, but she steers it just wide. Some more good attacking work by Katie Evans, but the deflected ball is stopped by Emily Talmadge. She now gets a chance to play BW up the field. Foul on Alex Elliott by Elena Lundrigan. Results in a free kick for Baldwin Wallace. Calico drives a free kick towards the 18-yard box area as it evades everyone and makes its way through to freshman goalkeeper Brittany Ross. Courtney shoots out wide for Bender. Bender's attempted cross cannot find one of her own players. As Wilmington look to break now. But just unable to get any passes really in the middle or the attacking third. Some very physical play from the number 9, Elena Lundrigan, on Baldwin Wallace midfielder Alex Elliott. As Lundrigan seems to just be a generally rough player. Another display of her strength there as she took the ball from Rachel Bender. Another attempted ball to Taylor Scott. Just cut out by Caddy Tucker. Shot by Cheryl Bell, very wide of goalkeeper Brittany Ross's goal. And the substitution now for the Yellow Jackets, as we see Cheryl Bell exit the field of play, and the introduction of the freshman Cassandra Wakeman. Rough play by Courtney Schutz on Erica Good, the senior midfielder, results in a free kick for Wilmington. And Rachel Bender is able to forge out a chance in the end, which she takes on as a left-footed strike about 8 yards from goal, but puts it over on the heavy pressure from the central defender. Does Wilmington College make some changes here with number 3, Hannah Greeny, entering the field and replacing Elena Londrigan. Number 13, Bailey Hoke, also enters the game, but I'm unsure as to who she has replaced at this point. And a good chance there for number 3, Hannah Greeny, the freshman forward from Dayton, to get a shot on goal, which she does, but it's picked up by goalkeeper Emily Talmadge at the near post. But Greeny just get a shot on the cross from Katie Evans, doing some more good work down the right side.
And that was an interesting cross, too. It stayed right on the ground, just kind of spatted through a couple of defenders and almost ended up with a nice goal for the Lady Fighting Quakers.
Yeah,
But Talmadge in good position as always. Gets the save.
And if you're just joining us with 10 minutes left here in the first half at Tressel Field within George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University, it is your Baldwin Wallace University Lady Yellow Jackets nil and Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers nil. As we see Caddy Tucker lose out in a battle with Hannah Greeny. And Greeny, I think, by the looks of things, on to replace Taylor Scott, who was just unable to get anything going on the front line with Caddy Tucker on her back every step of the way. Cassandra Wakeman using an interesting takeout move there as she brings down Ashley Stockton. Erica Good to take the free kick. Good goes directly for goal. And not a bad attempt at that, just evades the top corner of senior goalkeeper from Fairview, Pennsylvania, Emily Talmadge's goal. So Wilmington still not out of this game by any means, although they've had a lack of chances coming close there on the free kick.
Really close.
BW makes a change as we see Courtney Schutz exit the game and number 7, Marissa Fabrizi, enter. 6 minutes left here to go at Tressel Field, and it's the Baldwin Wallace Lady Yellow Jackets nil and the Wilmington College Fighting Quakers nil. Snapshot by Kristen Lee, easily picked up by goalkeeper Brittany Ross of the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers. Two more changes here for Wilmington College. as number 16, Erica Good is one of the players that exits the field. Uh, had cross across the box for from Taylor Thompson, the freshman from Canal Winchester. Had none of her players able to get there. And it seems like Hannah Greeny has fared significantly better against Caddy Tucker than her teammate Taylor Scott did early on in this first half. So it'll be interesting to see if Coach Steve Spurrick decides to use Meany, Greeny, I'm sorry, whether that be alongside Scott to begin the second half, or maybe stat her and leave Scott on the bench to come off and give us back later on.
And also, I wonder how the game is going to open up now that the rain has subsided. Early on, it was pretty much a torrential downpour here of a combination of hail and rain itself. So, and as you can see, it's still a little bit slick out there.
Yeah, and now that the ball is dry and the players are warm, it's interesting to see if this game just calms down, as it has been one that has been played at a very high pace. Also, the ball being off the ground quite a bit. So it's interesting to see if teams just begin to do a little bit more passing and improve on the build-up play. And Anapoptic takes a blow to the face off the boot of Bailey Hook as she just followed up on a bad touch. And a Hook attempting to clear the ball clears it directly into the face of Poptic, who is at least up on her knees now. And she is now being looked at by the trainer as she remains on the turf here on Tressel Field. And if you're just joining us, exactly 2 minutes left now in this encounter, in the first half of this encounter between your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets and the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers, with the score still being leveled at 0-0. And Poptic is making her way off the field. We surely hope to see her reintroduced, if not immediately, in the second half, as she has been one of the players instrumental to BW's success this season, taking up a much deeper lying midfield role than the one she did last season, but playing it well and managing to get something going on the attacking side also. As you may know, she has 3 goals and 4 assists.
Indeed, she does, and she's another spark to this BW Lady Yellow Jackets attack that sometimes doesn't get mentioned. So definitely another one of those factor players.
Joy Trillett, the freshman, now enters the game to replace Poptic. And Wilmington are able to draw a corner after Corey Miller attempts to shield the ball outside but is unable to do so. So with a minute left here in the first half of this encounter, Wilmington have a corner. And the goal kick to Baldwin Wallace Lady Yellow Jackets with less than 20 seconds now left in the half. So, with the countdown now starting, by the looks of things, we're going into halftime. And I'll just wait for the whistle here. And there it is, and at halftime here at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University, it is your Baldwin Wallace University Lady Yellow Jackets 0 and Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers 0. Thank you for sticking with us live here at bwyellowjackets.com. We will be back with you shortly with some first half statistics and some expectations for the second half. Thank you. Welcome back to Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University. And it is your Baldwin Wallace Lady Yellow Jackets nil, and the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers nil, as we begin the second half here. A very average half, definitely in terms of statistics in the first half, and my colleague Dre Showers is going to tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, rather close half as we expected. Nonetheless, with 8 shots from each team in that period. Not many on goal, but nevertheless, that is what that stands at. And as far as corner kicks go, Wilmington has the advantage with 3 corners to the Lady Yellow Jackets 2. And then looking at the saves by the period, we have Wilmington with 2 saves on the night and BW with 4. So, yeah, the attacking is fairly even in this matchup. And now I think what we need to look forward to in the second half is a team getting more shots on goals and creating those opportunities to get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and I think that goes without saying for both teams that they just want to turn some of these shots into more quality opportunities and get a go-ahead goal here, hopefully early on in the second half.
I mean, and it's possible too. I mean, both teams are playing good defense. However, both teams have also been in great opportunities to be on the scoreboard too. So you got to imagine that that will be the case for this half as well. And hopefully something goes in for one of these teams.
Yeah, and I did mention that with the way that play had gone in that first half, that it wouldn't be unlikely to see head coach of Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers, Steve Spirk, maybe come out and start with the number 3 freshman forward Hannah Greeny, who seemed to have a little bit more success than her colleague Taylor Scott against Caddy Tucker, who is in that BW defense. However, it is not so, and Taylor Scott starts the half as she will now take this corner kick for the Lady Fighting Quakers. And the corner kick doesn't make it into the box as she kicks it outside for a goal kick. Tucker coming up successful in a battle against Scott once again.
And that's just been the theme all night long between that matchup on the field against, or between rather, Caddy Tucker, excuse me, and Taylor Scott. Caddy Tucker just, having a little bit more of her way this evening.
Cheryl Bell with an opportunity to break there for BW, but well defended by number 16 Erica Good of Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers. As I think if Bell had an opportunity to get her foot on that ball once again, she would have squared the ball for either Alex Elliott or Rachel Bender, who were steaming in on the far side. Caddy Tucker with the corner. Ball into Anna Poptic as she is not able to take a shot on. I think she thought she had less space than she actually did. Ball breaks for Cheryl Bell, who is unable to get the ball under any real control and ends up hitting a shot quite wide of the goal.
Just need to get her footing under her and maybe perhaps a little bit more time, although there was a lot of time there as the Lady Fighting Quakers tried to readjust themselves on defense.
Yeah, and I think she attempted to take a first touch, but was unable to do so. A first touch that would have set her up in a better scoring position. Here comes Cheryl Bell once again. Puts the ball in with her right foot. Picked up by Courtney Schutz, but she's unable to get to the ball in a timely manner after that wonderful first touch to take her around the center defender, Elena Lundrigan. And a good cross by Ashley Stockton. Just cut out there by Emily Talmadge as she catches the cross and looks to put her team on the break, but it results in a throw-in for the Lady Fighting Quakers. A foul there by the Yellow Jackets leads to a free kick just in front of half line for the Lady Fighting Quakers. Good turn by Rachel Bender. But the play is eventually cut out by Alyssa Ruel. Emily Talmadge has a bad clearance, kick directly back into her box, but she handles it quite well. More strong play from the freshman midfielder Elena Londrigan, as seems to be her trademark. Caddy Tucker once again easily winning a battle with Taylor Scott. Kristen Lee goes down under a challenge and seemingly uses her arm to bring the ball back under control, but the referee deems it not a foul, and play continues with a throw-in to Wilmington.
Yeah, lost her footing. I agree with the referee's judgment call right there. But yeah, interesting way to get the ball back. That's for sure.
Slick moves by Ashley Stockton to get herself free. And in case you're just joining us here at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University, it is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets nil, and still nil to the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers, as we see a shot from Stephanie Max just travel wide. And the ball through here for Alex Elliott, who does get a shot off, but goalkeeper Brittany Ross handles it quite well. As the shot was just a little bit weak from Elliott in the end, after seeming to be in a better position than she ended up in.
And it was a fancy pass by Courtney Schutz to put her in that position anyway, which was what caught my eye on that.
As Rachel Bender is adjudged offside here on the far side. Baldwin Wallace attacking from south to north in the second half of this, their fifth OAC encounter of the season. Still 0-0 here at Tressel Field, and both teams definitely in search of a goal at this point in time. Rachel Bender with the cross for BW. And the cross evades goalkeeper Brittany Ross and flies across the face of goal. But I think Cheryl Bell was just expecting the goalkeeper to maybe get a hand or something on the ball. And it ends up evading every player on the pitch and going out for a goal kick to the Wilmington College Fighting Quakers. So BW definitely intensifying their efforts for a goal here, and we sure hope that it comes soon enough.
And Cheryl Bow wants that one back. As you can see, there is clear frustration. Perhaps she could have put a head on that to get an easy goal. But like you said, the ball seemed to evade everybody on that one and go out of bounds.
Throw in by Courtney Schutz leads to a corner to be taken by the same player. And Elliott scores on the corner, but the kick judged to have went outside before it came into play. So it results in a goal kick for the Wilmington College Fighting Quakers.
And that's unfortunate. Just very, very, very close there. But you gotta trust the call of the official.
Yeah, and I didn't see much complaints from the Baldwin Wallace players in particular, so I think it may have been the right call. Schutz just bent that one in the wrong direction. "25 minutes left here at Tressel Field on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University, as your Lady Yellow Jackets are currently engaged in a 0-0 affair with the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers. And the quality chance there falls to the feet of the person that I think Wilmington would most likely want it to fall to in Taylor Scott. But she is unable to finish as she looks to have maybe taken a blow also in the process. She limps away. And we see the introduction of Hannah Greeny now, replacing the number 10 Stephanie Randolph. And I mentioned the fact that I thought Greeny would be instrumental in the second half. So Coach Steve Spurk bringing her in now with 21 minutes left, and looking for her to have an impact. And I think that impact would be to give Caddy Tucker some extra worries within this last 20 minutes of the game. And we see Hannah Greeny already posting herself up alongside Caddy Tucker there, with Taylor Scott moving more onto the right-hand side, possibly with the aim of having more of an impact against Corey Miller than she's been able to have against Caddy Tucker. BW doing majority of the defending for the past few minutes here. So that might be a little bit of a worry to head coach Reed Ayers, who I've noticed hasn't made a substitution in the second half as yet. So still the opportunity to get some fresh legs on and um, possibly effect some change. And my thought is that the first players to come on in the second half this evening will be Cassandra Wakeman, just to relieve the midfield of some defensive duties, and Marissa Fabrizi, who I think he will put somewhere up top just to give more of an attacking spark.
Quite honestly, anything right now would be helpful as far as getting the Lady Yellow Jackets in the lead somehow with a little over 17 minutes to go in this one. Both teams, I'm sure, are eager now to get on the board and try to get a win. Ties at this point in the season aren't really the most favorable option, but
A foul by Alex Elliott on the number 27, Ashley Stockton, results in a deep free kick for Wilmington College. Ooh, and a chance now here for Wilmington. And that chance fell to number 6, Stephanie Max, who has 3 goals on the season, the freshman from Brookville. But she fires that shot wide, high and wide actually. Emily Talmadge not too worried. So with 16 minutes left here in this first half encounter, BW make their first change. And it is Cassandra Wakeman who comes into the game, replacing surprisingly the center forward Courtney Schutz, as it looks like Anna Poptic will receive a much more attacking role here, and Alex Elliott will move into that center forward position. And a good ball by Poptic to Cheryl Bell, who is, however, deemed offside. So even if she was able to bring that one under control and find the finish, it wouldn't have counted.
Cheryl Bell, you gotta want one for her. She's been in position all night to get a goal, and it just hasn't gone her way thus far. But so close. Every opportunity that she's gotten, hopefully something will break.
Ball here now for Bender, and she puts it across for Elliott, but it is comprehensively dealt with by Erica Good, the senior midfielder, who puts it out into touch for a corner kick to Baldwin Wallace. Cassandra Wakeman with the corner. And it's a good one, but Kelly Go just unable to get her head on it. Here's Hannah Greeny with the ball. Dealt with by Kristen Lee. Ball out into touch for a throw-in to Wilmington College. 14 minutes left here in this encounter at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University. And it is your Baldwin Wallace University Lady Yellow Jackets 0 and the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers 0. Head coach Reed Ayers looking to utilize another one of his substitutions, as it looks like Kelsey Nemeth is readying herself on the sidelines.
It'll be interesting to see her take action tonight here in this one. And hopefully she provides a spark off the bench for the Lady Yellow Jackets.
Corner here to the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers. And they will be eager on this corner by Taylor Scott. They try to get that go-ahead goal now with 13 minutes left in this, and in regular time at least, of this encounter. It will be a very crucial time to do so. Corner, however, dealt with by BW. Cheryl Bell now on the break. That break dealt with well by Melanie Hall, the sophomore midfielder. Oh, and I do want to note that Anna Poptic did come out to start the second half and hasn't had to be replaced, as she did take that ball to the face late on in the first half. So it's always good to see an injury scare end in a positive manner for a player, as they so often do not. And Kelsey Nemeth is now introduced to the game and is seeing her first action of the night, which means that her legs will be a little bit fresher than some of the other players. Maybe the reason why we're not seeing the introduction of Marissa Fabrizi, who came in at the end of the first half in an attempt by BW to get a goal. So Kelsey Nemeth is introduced to the game as she replaces Alex Elliott, and it's interesting to see how she changes the face of this Baldwin Wallace attack. Rachel Bender just stretching her legs out there, displaying her speed for us as she puts the defender Morgan Combs under some pressure. That resulted in a throw-in for BW, and now they have another throw-in deep in the Wilmington College half. Courtney Schutz is reintroduced to the game, who will now take the throw-in as she replaces Cheryl Bell. Just a little bit too much strength on the ball there from Cassandra Wakeman on the pass attempted to Kelsey Nemeth. And 9 minutes left in this encounter, as it looks like we may be heading for some extra time. Definitely if one of these teams aren't able to get a goal. Caddy Tucker really showing that she could do it against any opponent by nicking the ball off Hannah Greeny, the freshman from Dayton, a couple of times, just as she has been doing to Taylor Scott for majority of the game. Rachel Bender attempted to create some space for herself out on the wide right to get a cross in, but is unsuccessful in doing so, as it results in a goal kick for the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers.
And you can see the attack for the Lady Yellow Jackets start to pick up, getting a little bit more intense with 6 minutes to go in this second half.
Yeah, BW playing a very high line now, and basically going all out attack here. As you see, the two center backs advance for this corner. And with the players on the field, good cross by Courtney Schutz. Header by Kelly Go, just wide of goal. And with most of Baldwin Wallace's players having played all of the minutes of the second half here with only two substitutions being made, really. I think they're eager to finish this one within the allotted period of time here, which now sees 5 minutes left in regulation, as they don't want to have to go into that depth I spoke about for this encounter, seemingly. And they undoubtedly would have to do so if this game went to at time. And a throw in now deep in the Baldwin Wallace half for the Lady Fighting Quakers, as they themselves look to try to put something together in terms of offensive pressure. Emily Talmadge comes out on top, however, as usual. And a good ball to the outlet in Rachel Bender by Courtney Schutz, but she's unforgivable offside, really, considering she was looking right across the line of goal and had a lot of space between herself and the goalkeeper. That could have been a really quality opportunity for the Lady Yellow Jackets.
It really could have been, and you saw she was frustrated and maybe not even agree with the official there that she was offsides. But she was indeed, and this game continues.
We have a player going down now under the challenge of Kelly Go. But hops back up quickly. She seems to be struggling a little bit. I'm not sure exactly where the impact area. Wow, and a good chance there for Hannah Greeny to get a goal with less than 2 minutes left in this encounter. But BW somewhat saved by the right boot of Kristen Lee.
Doesn't get much closer than that right there. And both teams have been lucky in that regard, with opportunities coming very close in this game and then just not capitalized.
And a Poptic in the box now for BW. Ball comes across for Kelsey Nemeth, but the defender, Melanie Hall, is able to get her body in the way and clear it. And with 20 seconds left, the ball is deep in the Baldwin Wallace half. Hannah Greeny doing good work to get her foot on it, but Caddy Tucker recovering well. And that is it. It's the end of regulation time here at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University. And the score is all even at 0-0 between the Baldwin Wallace Lady Yellow Jackets and the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers. We thank you for sticking with us here at bwyellowjackets.com. We will be back with you shortly to bring you some second half statistics and a preview of what we can expect in added time, which we know will be of golden goal format. Be back with you shortly.
Welcome back to Tressel Field, where the Lady Yellow Jackets women's soccer team is facing the Wilmington Fighting Quakers. And this is a 0-0 matchup here, with the first overtime starting just seconds ago. And just to pick you up to speed if you're just joining us, again, a 0-0 game going into overtime. And in the second half, Wilmington and Baldwin Wallace again tied with shots by period with 3 each. But this time, Baldwin Wallace had the advantage in corner kicks with a 4-3 advantage over Wilmington. And just one save was made in that last half, and that was by the Wilmington goalie, number 1, Brittany Ross. And so, yes, it's been a back-and-forth matchup all night with 0-0 in this overtime. One of these teams finally looking to get on top as Wilmington set to attack. But the Lady Yellow Jackets handle it quite well, as they usually do. And a goal kick came as a result. Wilmington just can't break through, as Kelly Go has stepped up for the Lady Yellow Jackets, getting them possession back and looking to move the ball the other way.
Yeah, and the general attitude of the play from Baldwin Wallace seems to be that they think they should win this game, and they're going all out to get that golden goal that we know would have them win it here in extra time. So about 7 minutes left now in the first period of extra time, as the Lady Yellow Jackets continue that search for a goal and are playing a very high line, which they will hope won't come back to haunt them, as we know Wilmington College has a very swift player in Taylor Scott playing out on that right side, with Hannah Greeny currently playing through the center of that attack. And here is Scott now with the ball, as she has a shot, and it comes off of Emily Talmadge's crossbar. And I don't think Talmadge knew too much about that, as it seemed that she was aiming up to hit a cross inside to Greeny, but takes on what looks like a deliberate shot to me herself, and that hits the crossbar. Ball goes outside for a goal kick, however, now to be taken by Kelly Go of the Lady Yellow Jackets.
And the crossbar remains no one's friend in Tressel Field, as we've seen this all season long here.
Yeah, almost every game we have at least 2 shots coming off the crossbar, and because we couldn't do it in 90 minutes tonight, we needed some extra soccer to see that happen. So now that that has happened, I think we could go ahead and get this winning goal, can the Lady Yellow Jackets, and send us all home happy here this evening. Just a heavy touch in the end there by Cassandra Wakeman leads to a clearance for Wilmington College. Baldwin Wallace now looking to make a substitution, bringing on Courtney Schutz, who is their leading assist getter with 5 on the season, to support an attack of Rachel Bender and Alex Elliott. Shot by Anna Poptic just over the crossbar. Courtney shoots now with the ball. She chips across in. And Alex Elliott was somewhere on the end of it, but unable to get a touch to it really in the end, as it results in her fouling goalkeeper Brittany Ross of the Fighting Quakers.
And again, that's something we've seen all night, especially in these corner kick opportunities where both teams have endless opportunities in the box and just have not been able to capitalize on it. It's just been the theme of the game, but in retrospect, that could also mean one of these times that will be the deciding factor.
Yeah, and I think both teams will just be eager to not give up chances generally here. As you know, with the golden goal situation, um, one slight mistake or lapse in concentration can lead to you losing the game. The crowd here at Tressel Field in the George Finnie Stadium getting behind their home team, the Baldwin Wallace Lady Yellow Jackets, and encouraging them to push on, get this goal. Ball now with Courtney Schutz, who takes on one defender and has a shot somewhat weakly, but it is saved by goalkeeper Brittany Ross, who looks to push her team forward now.
Both teams getting eager as well as the crowd now, as the feel of the game, it really just it gives off that something's going to break through right here.
Yeah, and I could see a goal come in at any point in this game from here on out, with just about a minute and 50 seconds left before the end of this, the first period of added time. Good opportunity there for Stephanie Max to add to her tally of 3 goals currently on the season, but it's eventually stuffed out by Kelly Go. One minute remaining here in the first period of overtime, and both teams remain level at 0-0. In this, the 5th OAC encounter for both teams on the season, those teams being the Baldwin Wallace University Lady Yellow Jackets and the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers. And that's the end of the first period of added time here at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University. And it is still 0-0 here between your Baldwin Wallace Lady Yellow Jackets and the Lady Fighting Quakers of Wilmington College. We'll be back with you in 2 minutes to bring you the second period of added time as both of these teams search for that ever elusive first goal of the game, which will now definitely be the winner as we're playing golden goal format. Sorry for the slight delay. Not much action to talk about there in the first period of added time, as Wilmington College had one shot compared to Baldwin Wallace's two. The difference was that Baldwin Wallace got one of those shots on target, resulting in a save by goalkeeper Brittany Ross. So interesting to see which team takes the initiative in this, the second period of added time, and looks to go out and get that golden goal in order to get a win in this, their fifth OAC clash of the season. A good ball by number 23, Melanie Hall of the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers, almost leads her teammate Stephanie Max in on goal. And at this point in time, that goal is the most precious thing that either of these teams could manage to conjure in this last 7 minutes of the game. So The Lady Fighting Quakers now have a free kick, an opportunity to serve the ball into the box and cause some problems in that Baldwin Wallace defense that has been so resolute for uh, all of 100 minutes now. And I think in this second period of added time, Dre, we will see some more back-to-back play, as Ball Wallace will be less willing to play a high line, as they know that that one ball defense could be detrimental to their, their
Taking a different approach now. You saw early on and even first half of overtime that these women tried to get out there and score right away. But now it's about preserving the ball because you don't want to make that crucial mistake that could result in a loss. So
yeah, and I
it'll be
think
quite interesting to see what happens going forward.
definitely, and I think for both teams, the most important thing right now would be to not get that loss. I understand that they may both be eager for a win, but they don't have losing records, either of these teams, and may actually benefit from a more reserved approach within this final 6 minutes and 30 seconds or so, which would see them just see out this draw and um, pick up a point that may be crucial for their team. Oh, and a good ball by Alex Elliott leads Anna Poptic in on goal, but she is deemed to be offside by the assistant referee, John Talley, as the play is called back, and Wilmington now an opportunity to clear their lines as they just seemed under some immediate pressure from the Lady Yellow Jackets team.
And that was much like the offsides call earlier called on Rachel Bender, who also had a wonderful opportunity going up the sideline, but the official blows his whistle once again.
Yeah, and I think this one was a little bit closer, but at the same time, you have to be disappointed in Anna Poptic a little bit, as she had an opportunity to look directly across the line and should not have been offside on that play. But a near chance there again for the Lady Fighting Quakers. And BW just opening up their team a little bit too much. The space between their midfield and their attack is huge. And I think that's just giving the deeper line midfielders of Wilmington College an opportunity to exploit that space and play some beautiful long balls that we've seen thus far just within this 5 minutes that has elapsed of this second period of added time. Anna Poptic complaining about some rough play from a sophomore right back, Melanie Hall of the Lady Fighting Quakers, but did not get a call there. And the Fighting Quakers look to build another attack. A foul there by Courtney Schutz leads to another goal kick in a similar position as the last one for the Lady Fighting Quakers, as they're gonna now look to serve the ball into the box. Ball falls to Taylor Leak, who is dispossessed by Cassandra Wakeman. Attempted clearance by Rachel Bender hits a Wilmington player, seemingly seemingly in the face, but she hops up quite quickly and is back off to completing the task at hand here. So good to see that she's not more seriously injured. And a BW player is down on the far side of the field. And the referee immediately calls for medical attention. That player looks like Caddy Tucker, and I didn't necessarily see an incident where she might have been injured, but it's possible that I missed it. She's down and seemingly in pain.
And this could be a huge blow to the Lady Yellow Jackets team. As we mentioned earlier on in our broadcast, that Caddy Tucker has been a focal point in the defense. And hopefully this is, one of those walk-off injuries. And as you can see, she's walking off under her own power with a little bit of discomfort, but nevertheless, that is a good sign when any player can walk off under their own power after an injury sustained.
Yeah, she does seem to be a little bit shaken up, and the Baldwin would not only hope that Caddy Tucker is all right, not only because they have 2 minutes and 30 seconds or so here to defend their goal while trying to get one for themselves, but they also would love to have her for the rest of the season, as she has been a very instrumental part in their success thus far. And we see the introduction here of Natasha Ustazewski for the Baldwin Wallace Lady Yellow Jackets in that center back position to replace Caddy Tucker.
She certainly has big shoes to fill, especially late in the second overtime. With a position change this late, you never know how that's going to affect the overall play of the team.
Yeah, and it must be mentioned that coaches don't usually change their back line, with that being the only substitution of any four of the backline players all game. So, interesting to see how that works out for BW. Ustajeski just making her sixth appearance of the season. So now we have just 1 minute left in this encounter before it is deemed a tie by both of these teams. Kristen Lee called for a push in the back on a Wilmington player. And I think that may end Baldwin Wallace's chance of winning this game at least. And they would want to focus on defending the ball that is now in their 18-yard box for the last 25 seconds or so of the game. They give up a throw-in to be taken quickly by Melanie Hall. And again. The ball rolls out for a goal kick to Baldwin Wallace. And that surely ends the encounter here tonight, which sees In the fifth athletic conference of the season, your Baldwin Wallace Lady Yellow Jackets tying 0-0 with the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers. And that is the end of our broadcast here this evening, which saw you guys get an extra 30 seconds with us. So it's our pleasure to do you such a great service. And surely looking forward to you joining us on our next broadcast. So your final tonight is Baldwin Wallace University Lady Yellow Jackets nil and the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers nil. A quick reminder, the next Yellow Jackets game is on Wednesday, October 21st, when they travel to University Heights, Ohio, to take on crosstown rival John Carroll University. Our next women's soccer broadcast is on Tuesday, October 27th, when BW hosts Ohio Northern University on Tressel Field inside of the George Finnie Stadium at 7 o'clock p.m. I am Dario Bathley. Thank you for joining us tonight. Once again, our final here is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets nil and the Wilmington College Lady Fighting Quakers nil. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.